thank you guys for tuning in to the Al Rucker Show today with myself, comedian Grossman.
What's up, world?
Dave Lawson.
Yes, sir.
And we got Edward Pollard in the house. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate the invite.
Man, I'm glad you came. We shocked you came. They've been waiting to get you. They've been waiting to get you on the show.
Okay,
it's all good.
All right, well.
So talk to us, man, about J City. What's up with J City?
Well, J City is a brand that is off of District J, which is the council district that I represent, which is Southwest Houston. So I've been on council for 6 years, and I represent District J, which is Gulfton, Galleria, Sharpstown, Braeswood, into A-Leaf. And so if you're on 59 South, everything basically between 610 and the Beltway, that is District J. And so I wanted to rebrand District J into J City.
Yeah.
And we have different programs and initiatives within J City that we're building out that we want to serve as a model for citywide. And so it is my way to show that we have a proof of concept that we can do things here in this district that can benefit the entire city.
So what makes J City so uniquely different from other districts in the city of Houston?
So District J and J City is the most diverse area of the most diverse city in America.
Yes, it is.
So we have, Asia Town, Chinatown, Little Ethiopia, many different Latin communities. We have the Turkish Center. We have the India House. We have the Vietnamese Community Center, the Chinese Community Center, all in Southwest Houston, right? All in that corridor. And so that's what really makes it very vibrant, different. We call it the Ellis Island of Houston. And the cool part about it is you have all these different people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different perspectives, this melting pot of people that you can learn from to really appreciate and embrace who they are and where they come from. And that's really what makes Houston special.
It's very diverse. I lived over there for about 6 years. And I remember I broke down. I couldn't give people directions because the streets was in Chinese.
Yeah, some of the street names.
You couldn't tell them. I'm like, what street y'all, man? I don't know what.
Go down. Once you cross that beltway, it's Sung Hung Lung Lung Lung.
It's different, yeah. But you can go through different blocks. In each direction, you're gonna hit a different community. And you're gonna get authentic cuisine. You're gonna get a certain type of retail. You're gonna get a different type of vibe. And I've really enjoyed it. It's been very rewarding for me to be able to learn from different backgrounds. 1 out of 4 people in the city of Houston is foreign born. A lot of people don't know that. So 25% of the people within Houston comes from a different country. But in my district, you have over 90 languages spoken. 75% of the people speak something other than English as a first language.
How far is your district? Like, how far,
So it starts near the Galleria.
You control.
Yeah, it starts near the Galleria around where kind of like Roof Chris is, that area.
Yeah.
Then moves west.
And
So it goes as south as West Belford, and it goes as far west as Boone Road, all the way out in A-Leaf. So each district, we have 11 districts within the city. Each district has around 220, 240,000 people. A lot of people don't know that Harris County is larger than 26 states.
Wow.
So it's a large area that we're all representing. As the 4th largest city in America, we don't get sometimes the recognition of LA and New York and Chicago, but you can fit 3 Chicagos inside of Houston. That's how spread out we are. And so it's a big challenge.
Is that what y'all trying to do now?
Huh?
Because we can't move.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are coming to Houston because they
How you stop it?
I don't know if we want to stop it. Yeah. I think Houston is special. People are recognizing how special we are. For most major cities, we're still at a place where the cost of living is somewhat affordable compared to New York and LA. And so people are appreciating that, the diversity, the different industry spaces we have here. We're the #1 medical center in the world. We have the #1 port. We have the #1 oil and gas. We have space and aviation, all these different sectors that are grabbing people. So when you feel the economy shift in other parts of the country, you don't feel that same economic downturn in Houston. And I think people are recognizing that, and that's why people are coming to Houston.
And you have people like him complaining, but
hey, man, watch your mouth, man.
Well,
they
have
complaining.
to deal. No, you'll see people
complaining?
go. Hang on, man. You'll see people go about the traffic. They upset about something doing downtown. But what's You have no alternative. You have, because it is growing.
If you want to live in a big city, you're going to have traffic.
You're gonna have traffic.
If you're in LA, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in New York, if you're in Chicago.
I just left Chicago.
You're going to sit in traffic, right? I mean, it's a major metropolitan area. Everybody is in a densely populated zone, whether it's downtown or the Gallery or City Center. We have all these places where you have mass amount of people that are working in a centralized location. Now, they may go back out to Pearland and Humble and Sugarland, all these other places, but they're coming into the city. We have almost close to 1 million people that commute into the city every single day, right? So we don't have a mass public transit system other than traditional buses. And that's because our city is so spread out that it would be hard to connect rail or rapid transit or a subway this late in the game. We're 50, 100 years too late.
Especially when you get a late start. Because we was on horses in 62.
So you see what I'm saying? We can't extend the freeways no more.
Yeah. They're going to try. So what are they doing? They're not expanding.
Going over.
With width, they're elevating. So you see that the different exits are starting to be higher and higher. It's almost like a roller coaster.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what are some of the biggest projects in District J that you're proud of so far?
So the big thing that I, tip my cap to myself and my team is there was a stretch of Bissonnet between 59 and Beltway 8 known as the Bissonnet track. A lot of prostitution, a lot of trafficking.
$40 over there.
Yeah, that's what I was told. I'm not sure how you know that. But,
I live by the Burger King.
Okay. Hey, again, personal experiences there.
Who won't cheat?
Yeah. So for decades, that area has been riddled with a lot of crime, and specifically trafficking and prostitution. And you can drive down that street in the past and just see women walking what they call the blade or the track, damn near naked. And it's around churches and schools and businesses and community. And I got a letter from a third grader at Betty Best Elementary. I think they were doing a letter writing campaign. And one of the letters said, hey, you're the new council member, and I see prostitutes every time I leave school and come to school. Are you going to do something about it? And from that moment on,
third grader wrote you that.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And maybe she had help from a teacher or a parent, but we received the letter. And from that point on, we made it a high priority. I didn't know how we were going to change the dynamics, right? Because it's a very challenging issue. But over time, after trying things and having a lot of trial and error, we came up with this idea that we were going to block off the side streets off of Bissonnet. So Forum Park and Center Parkway.
Forum Park,
So initially what we did was we had officers that would stay out on the street and they would barricade the street with like a manual barricade. And we did that because gentlemen like yourself and others would travel down Bissonnet, and they would make their rounds back and forth down Bissonnet, and once they saw something they would like, they would go off the side street to conduct the business. So we're like, we're gonna cut off this side street. So over time we saw that was working, but it wasn't cost effective because we couldn't have officers there every night. So we decided to get fixed barricades like you see in private parking lots that have the steel gates that close together and lock. So now at night, starting around 9 p.m. to about 5 a.m. in the morning, we lock up the side streets of Bissonnet. Never been done before. I challenge anyone to find any other city that has locked up public streets at night. But we did that.
I was going to ask you that. What challenges did you? Because you always got someone saying, "Oh, that my Second Amendment or my," you know what I'm saying?
So we were surprised because we were changing traffic patterns, which meant for the people who lived there, they only could get in one way and get out one way. Then for the businesses, we didn't know how challenging that was going to be for them. But most of those businesses close at 5, 6, 7 o'clock. And they don't open back up into the morning. And so they were so frustrated with the amount of prostitutes that were affecting their businesses and their community that they were open to anything. And so once we told them that we were going to try that, and they saw that it was working with the officers, they were on board for the fixed barricades. And we've been doing that for over a year now. Crime has dramatically gone down by like 90% in the area. Because you got to understand, it's like a business. The business was the side street. That's where they conduct the business. Whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whatever it is, that was the business. Now the business is closed. There's no way to get to the business. Even if you turn off the freeway, off the feeder road, barricaded. You turn down this way, barricaded. And what we want to prove and show that if we could clean up Bissonnet, we could clean up any street in the city.
So what kind of feedback you got from the neighborhood about this?
Oh, great feedback. They've seen a tremendous kind of shift in the dynamics of that corridor. Businesses are kind of starting to boom. We're getting more economic development. There's been 2 property owners that have come forward to want to build modern multifamily there. We have a new owner of the old Westwood Mall that's right there on the corner. So there is
BMW got it right.
Yeah. So we got the BMW dealership there. We have a lot of new investment that's coming to that area that has not seen any attention in a long time. It's still a great location right there between the gallery and Sugarland, right off the freeway. But all the crime that was there was making it almost impossible for anyone to want to come and invest. And so over the past year, we've seen some big gains, but we didn't want to just stop it at, the women. We had a lot of issues with illegal dumping out there, so we worked with A-Leaf ISD and the students to do routine cleanups. We were able to get some federal funding for infrastructure improvements to the actual street. And now working with the property owners to build and invest in that area with their own land as well. So over the next several years, you should continue to see movement on that stretch. But I think a lot of folks always ask, like, okay, well, what happened to the women? Like, were they? They were out there. Where are they? We did work with several different nonprofits on trying to provide training, education, alternate routes for them to take. But that's a very challenging circumstance that they're in. Some of them want to get out of their life and they're just looking for an opportunity, and some are scared because of a pimp or a handler that is overseeing them. So that's always still a challenge to work with these nonprofits to continue to do outreach for the women, because they didn't just disappear. We don't see them. They may be online. They may have gone somewhere else. But from a visibility standpoint, you drive down Bissonnet now, it's a completely different street. So we're proud of that.
So this is
I
another
rode
thing.
down there. I was like, damn, it's boring.
So another thing, with homelessness, transportation, public safety are major issues in Houston. So one thing we noticed is you launched More Jobs Houston. How has that been affected and taken in the community?
Yeah, so I don't care who you are, where you're from, background, everyone wants a meaningful, high-paying job, right? That's how they provide for themselves and their family. You can't have a thriving city without people having money in their pocket.
True.
So we wanted to try to find an accessible way to have a one-stop site for people to be able to search for all of the different opportunities that's in the greater Houston area. And there was no platform that was really out there for it that was for free. You have Monster and you have Indeed and some of these national platforms, but nothing was tailor-made just for Houston. So we came up with More Jobs Houston, and it has now grown into an automated site to where every single week there's thousands of jobs on there that are specifically tailored just for Houston. Every different industry space, regardless if you're entry level or need a postgraduate degree, there's something there for you. There's tips on resume building, interview techniques. We have links to current job fairs that are going on. So everything is tailored for Houston. The big thing for me is, jobs are also correlated with public safety, with housing, with homelessness, with mental health. All of this ties to a person having something meaningful and purposeful to do every day. And then the more money that you put in people's pockets, the more they spend. The more they spend, that money comes to the city. And then the more that it comes to the city, the more services that we can provide. Because I tell people all the time, like, people say, what does a council member actually do? I get that question all the time. And so I tell people that a council member is basically a member of the board of directors of the city. Look at the city as a company, and the city council is a board of directors, and the mayor is the chair of the board.
Right.
Okay. And what we do is we have a budget, which is based on you all's tax dollars, either sales taxes or property taxes. We get those dollars, right? When you went and bought these jeans or that shirt, there was some sales tax to it.
Right.
Some of that sales tax comes to the city, and that's how we provide services, whether it's police, fire, parks, libraries, trash, drainage, airports, whatever your daily function is.
Right, of course.
Right? And then the city council has to decide where those dollars go. And we have a $7 billion budget. And those people that represent you all on city council have to decide where the dollars are going to eventually end up. And so that's where the politics comes in, right?
Yeah.
Some people want more police, some people want less police.
Right.
Some people want housing, some people say fix the streets. Some people say, hey, a park needs investment. These people over here say where the streets or the drainage, whatever it is. And so you have a limited amount of money.
Right.
Because we don't want to keep coming back to you asking for more, right? And raise your taxes. So the politics comes in on where does the money go?
Right, exactly.
And as voters and the public, we are supposed to listen to you all.
Yeah.
And that's where our roles really start to merge. And for the community to have a seat at the table to say, hey, what we need in our community is X, Y, Z. And I need you as our representative to do it. If
To
not,
fight for us.
every 2 or 4 years, you can elect someone else.
So, and this is another question I have, and this probably just off the record. You're from Houston, correct?
I'm from Houston.
What side of Houston?
Southwest Houston.
Southwest Houston.
So like the
Alien.
Meyerland, Westbury area.
Okay. So, and the reason why I asked that, you're very polished at what you do. Even sitting here just talking to us, you're very polished. And the question I want to ask is this how you are all the time? Like, is this you?
Yeah.
So if I sit down, if I met you out in the neighborhood, you going to be this way?
For sure. I try to be very approachable and relatable. At the end of the day, my job is to represent people.
Yeah.
And so you have to have a relationship with people. People have to get to know you. They have to be comfortable with you. And I'm good at being able to adapt to environments.
Yeah.
So if I'm in an environment with you all here, I can be very relaxed and comfortable and be able to have real meaningful dialogue. You put me in a boardroom, it may be a different vibe. If you put me out on the basketball court, it may be a different vibe. So it kind of has to do with the company that I'm around. But at the end of the day, people want to see that you're genuine, that you are bringing forth something of substance.
Yeah.
And so I really take a lot of pride in that.
And also, I read too, this is your last term?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your plans after that?
So I definitely want to continue my life in public service. I want to stay at the city level. There's a
mayor position.
There's a state law that mentions that we cannot, as council members, announce what we want to do next more than a year out from that election. And so the seats that I'm looking at are more than a year out from this election.
So you can't say what.
So I can't say, but I will tell you I want to stay at the city level. I want to elevate at the city level, and we'll see what happens in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question, and this something that's deep. So, and I know you don't control this here, but you got more into it than the regular average person. When I was growing up, and I know it's just a sign of times, when I was growing up, blacks held a lot of the construction jobs. I remember riding down the street with my daddy. My daddy worked construction, but every time he points, oh yeah, I helped build that there. Oh yeah, I helped build that there. It was black workers. Now you never see any black workers doing construction out there. And I'm just not talking bad about nobody, but mostly Hispanics is what I see. Who controls that? You know what I'm saying? Because I know contractors got to come to the city and get contracts. Do anyone look at them and say, hey, you need to have X amount of workers out here? Because all I see, and I don't know if they're doing it because it's cheap labor or what. Do you guys ever attack that or look at that and say, hey, man?
Well, it's an open market. So what I tell folks is,
but y'all still get a contract to whoever, correct?
We give the contracts to private companies that have, a focus on construction, and they do all types of things from building homes to civil engineering. And yes, many times when you look at these construction sites, you see Hispanics that are the dominant race of individuals that are doing the work.
Right.
But that doesn't preclude black people from still being able to do that work too. We have to ask ourselves, one, even within our own friend groups and our own peer groups, you know, how many people do we know that are focused on putting themselves forward in that line of work? Many of my friends, I don't know anyone that is growing up putting themselves in that line of work. I think back in the day when there were less opportunities across the board, that black folks were doing many of the jobs that
we don't do now.
No, many of the jobs that just were afforded to them at that time.
Right.
And right now there's just more opportunity. And so you have to ask yourself, your nephews and your cousins and your friends, how many of them are actually saying, hey, I'm on the path to be a construction worker? I think if we wanted to do that, you would see more people in construction. It's kind of like baseball.
I get it to a certain extent.
Listen, it's kind of like baseball.
Right.
It was one point in time in baseball.
A lot of blacks was out.
A lot of blacks was in the major leagues.
Right.
Now you don't see hardly any blacks.
Right.
It's not that we can't play.
Yeah.
But we're not, for whatever reason, we're not focused on that sport.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think as an occupation and as an industry, we haven't been focused on that industry like we were in the past.
I agree. But let me just say with one little thing there is that I don't know if they understand, because that was a great paying job back then. Hauling, my dad worked for Brown and Root.
Okay.
He would have been balling had it not been for the 10 kids he did. so money was tight. But to the average young man who didn't go to college, who graduated high school, Brown and Root was a good job and probably still is a good job. But you say, how do they, you know?
And that's why I think we have to start pushing our kids to do things that aren't really just in a traditional 4-year university route. There's trades and vocations that are out there that are able to provide a level of salary that is really strong for you to have a comfortable life. But many times we are not pushing our kids into many of these spaces. Yeah. And you see other races, they are doing that.
Well, these kids these days so much into social media.
Yeah, and I think we have
all the Hispanic people, they're out building homes. But like such black people, we can't build a house in a month.
Well, that's on us. I think we can do whatever we want to do.
But when you see all the Hispanic people, they building houses like 3-story.
They don't have a superpower though.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. Okay. I think it's just the work nature they have, and they coming up here doing it.
Okay, they doing it, but
I
like
agree.
Dave say,
But I agree with what Pollard said, and what Dave said is true. I'm not going to go out there and do construction. I'm not going to tell my children to go out there and do construction. I'm going to tell my children to go do something more.
Not physical.
More physical. More the professional.
I get that, but for those who, see, you got kids that you got. There are 18-year-olds coming out of high school and don't know what they're going to do. True. But if you show them on the pay down at the job for a fair or whatever it is, hey, man, do you know how much they paying people to do this construction? Yeah. They get paid well.
No, they do.
But that's our responsibility as a community.
Yeah, as a community.
When you see kids at the church, you see kids out at the playground, to talk to them, hey, what do you have planned after you get out of school? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Well, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So I run a program called Suits for Success. Okay. It's a nonprofit.
That's a nonprofit you have, right?
Yes. Founded it 10 years ago. And what we do is we mentor high school boys on life skills, things that they would not learn in a traditional classroom setting. So public speaking, etiquette training, resume building, interview techniques, how to tie a tie, etc. At the end of the program, each student earns a free suit, shirt, and tie for graduation. Okay. Within that program, we start to ask these young boys, what are your plans after high school? Many times they don't know, and they come from backgrounds where they really haven't thought about going to a 4-year university. So I asked this kid one time, what are you good at? What do you like to do? And he said, I like to cook. I said, have you ever thought about going to culinary school? And he was like, I don't even know what that is. Yeah. Right? So we started to work with him over a couple years, and he was able to get accepted to one. But the thing about it is, but for that conversation and that exposure, who knows what that kid would be doing? And I think that's the same responsibility that we all have, that we know now as grown adults that there are a lot of ways to be successful and make money. You ain't got to be, I'm a lawyer by day, but you don't have to be a lawyer or a doctor or engineer. You can be an HVAC, you can be a welder. You can be something out at the plants, but we have to expose them to what all these options are. And I think if we did that, you would see more people doing more labor jobs.
Yeah, got it. Because I had a plumber come to my house just, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago. Right. He's making a killing. We got into a good conversation. And he said, and he was a young guy, but he was a young white kid. And he was like, man, when I get ready to go out on dates because people look down on it, he'll tell the girl he'll a plumber, and they go, you a plumber? They don't get it. He said, guess how much money I made last year? $167,000. Yeah. And I ain't but 30 years old. Yeah. But when I go, he said when he go on dates, he talk to women, they looking down on him because he's a plumber. Just out of being the ignorant fact of how much trade y'all.
And I think a lot of folks in this social media world where everybody's trying to prove that they live this high life, that they don't want to be known as being a plumber. But at the end of the day, you can be a plumber and then end up owning a plumbing business and be doing way better than these folks had that front that they doing much better when really they sitting at the house, trying to find a way that they gonna pay their next bill. So we have to really find ways to utilize the knowledge that we have, that we've gained over these years, and be able to impart that into these young folks that are in our community.
Yeah, and then another question I have: if you can make one policy change that would affect District J the most, what would it be?
One policy change. So that's a good question. I think that for District J, we have this interesting dynamic that people in District J work, they just don't get a lot of money. So we have the highest employment rate, but we have the lowest median income rate. And I think what we need to do is be able to have a policy that gives more access and availability for job training and exposure for all these folks that are in these entry-level type positions, right? There's not a lot of pathways for those who want to work to elevate, right? And they're stuck in their, being a someone who folds clothes or sheets at a hotel, or they bussing your tables, or they're a dishwasher, they're a hostess, they doing all these day jobs. We have to find ways as a city to provide avenues to where they can get training in other areas and make it accessible. There's some nonprofits out there that we worked with that actually bring like keyboarding and computer training, English as a second language classes to the apartment complexes. So it makes it very accessible for folks to be able to gain this knowledge and exposure for a better way of life. Everything, regardless of what the policy is, the policy should be driven towards increasing a person's quality of life, right? Whatever we put forward, whatever we advocate for, whatever we vote on, should be making your life better.
Right, exactly.
And many times, what will make people's life better is putting some more money in their pocket.
Right.
That's what everybody wants, but no one really knows how to get there. And as a government, I think we have some role in that to provide access and avenues for people to do that, because ultimately the more money that's being generated as an economy, the more society can grow.
That will make minimum wage go up though, right?
I can't make minimum wage go up personally, but at the city level, we have instituted a policy for city workers not to be able to make less than $15 an hour. The egregious part is at the federal level, minimum wage still sits, I think, $7.25, and it's been like that for decades.
Right. I think since
and
Clinton?
Even on top of that, the salaried disparity between men and women is still very gross. For every dollar that a man makes, a woman makes, much less. And then there's disparity between whites and blacks that are doing the exact same thing. So across the board, minorities and marginalized communities still have a uphill climb to try to get their fair slice of the pie.
So if District J was a person, how would you describe their personality?
Energetic, vibrant, hardworking, passionate. The people who are within District J are some of the most resilient people that I know. because they come from all over the world, all over the country, and they find Houston as home. And many times this is their first time navigating America, and they're just trying to figure out how to give a better life for themselves and their family. And the success stories that I have heard through my 6 years on council have been incredible, from people who came here hardly with nothing,
Right.
and have grinded, did some type of education, or invested in whatever, started with a small little gas station or corner store, and now they have grown into a corporate icon in the city. Happens all the time. The issue that I have is that as a black community, we have not seen those same strides in a mass way. So if you go down Bel Air Boulevard in my district right now, where they have Chinatown, where you saw all those street signs. They have 6 banks. They have their own grocery stores, their own dental offices, law offices. They have their own everything, right? They have built that over the last 20, 30 years, right? To where people within their community, regardless of where they live, they will come to Chinatown to buy whatever they want to buy, support their own community, lift their own community, invest in their own banks, and then they just recycle that dollar over and over.
And that's a mentality problem with us.
So for us, we have not been able to do that as a community.
There are
and not just here in Houston.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you.
All over the country.
It's all over the country.
So when you said our community, I was going to ask you talking about in Houston, or you talking about
the black community, as black Americans in major cities around the country, we have not been able to do it. Now, there's a lot of reasons why. It's not just on us.
Exactly.
There's a lot of systematic barriers that are there.
It's put in place.
And over time, even when you look back at our nation's history, there have been times when we have built those models, and they've either been burnt down or different things have happened.
So let's say this here.
But we still should put ourselves in a position to continue to build towards that.
So let's say this here. You saying the community, you saying the community of Houston, correct?
Well,
or you just saying the community that you talking about District J?
So when I'm speaking about being able to pull our wealth together, I'm speaking more about the black community.
In the city of Houston?
Within the city of Houston,
okay.
Yes.
So let's say hypothetically, if you are a leader of the city of Houston, what would you say to the black community to inspire them to try to put all this together? So
I would look at it from a stance of something that I could probably have more influence on, and that would be contracting opportunities for the city of Houston. So as I mentioned before, the city of Houston has a $7 billion annual budget. That's a lot of money. The city of Houston's departments can't do all the work itself, so they contract that money out. And this contract can be in various different things, from sanitation to uniforms to construction to marketing, legal services, accounting service, all types of things.
Plethora of stuff.
We as a community are not participating as much as I think we should in those contract opportunities. And although we are getting certified as vendors to get the work, many times we're not getting the work. And I think that is based on leadership at City Hall not making it a priority to ensure that the black community in itself is engaged to the point where they really understand the process to get the work. That would be one of my main priorities, is to educate and expose our community to all of the money that is sitting out there from a contract basis, not only with the city of Houston, but HISD, Harris County, Metro, across the board. There's a lot of money that's out there for us to be able to take advantage of, but it takes the right leadership to really educate our community on the best way to get it.
How could you educate our community? Like, say I want a contract, do some work in the city. Like, just say I want to pick up trash, at a park. I want to get that contract. How do I get that contract? Who do I go talk to? Do I go to the city to talk to somebody at the city? Just in case someone don't know how. They want to do it, but they don't know what steps to take.
The formal steps is going to be, yes, there is an application process to become a vendor with the city. The city is going to have to vet you to see if you can actually do the work, right? Okay. So you become a vendor, and once you're certified as a vendor, bids come out daily on work that the city is going to put out for you to bid on and hopefully get the contract.
Okay.
many times folks don't know where to look for those bids, right? They don't know how to fill out those applications. They don't know what qualifications they may need. All of those need to be things that we educate our communities, whether we're going to community centers, our churches, whether this is something that the city has to put more symposiums and town halls regarding this topic within our communities, our schools. Those are the things I think can lift us further than we are today. We're seeing other races take advantage of some of the programs that the city has in place based on minority participation. So the way it works is this. Any construction contract with the city over $1 million or any services contract over $100,000, there has to be a minority piece tied to it. So let's say there's a construction contract out there for $1 million.
Right.
20% of that, hypothetically, 20% of that has to go to a minority-owned firm. Off rip. Okay? So the reason that program exists is because there were minorities that weren't getting any of the work.
Right.
But back in the 80s, black folks made this a big issue and said, we're not getting any of the work. We can do some of this work.
Rightfully so.
But I can't, we're not getting any. So ordinance was passed that they have to have a minority business enterprise program. It started as an MBE, Minority Business Enterprise Program, which means that a certain amount of work has to go to a minority business. Now it has changed over time to be a MWSBE program, which is minorities. Then they added white women and small businesses. Right. So they chopped it up,
cutting into your pie.
And everybody else is
still the same.
Well, everybody else is benefiting from this program, but us,
except for the original. Listen, and
that happens across the board.
Let me tell you, I can't tell you how upset I get over stuff like that. Because we have put so much on our back over the years, going back to slavery and Jim Crow and all the things we fought over, for other people to benefit from all the struggle that we went through, except for the actual person who was happy to. Because a lot of black people always felt like, I'm not even going down there and stuff because it was the good old boy system. The good old boys were looking out for each other. And now when like you said, you just explained to me, I didn't know that was the name of it. But now that became available, okay, well, we let all them fight over that there. And now we're in another battle as black people over something that we the ones who originally put that in place.
Yeah, it's very discouraging at times. We see the contracts that come forward because city council has to vote on these contracts. Right. Every dollar that goes out, council has to approve. And so, I see the different vendors that are the minority participants, and they're from, we're the most diverse city in America, so there's going to be a lot of different vendors from different communities that would qualify as a minority, but a lot of times it's not folks from our community. And that's twofold. One, that's on representation and leadership at City Hall to make sure people are informed. But two, there's no Asian person on City Council. There's no Indian person on City Council, right? We got more blacks on City Council than any time in the city's history. So it's not like these other communities don't have the same representation. They still figuring it out. Yeah. So there has to be some onus on us as well.
I agree.
To say, hey, what do I need to do to elevate myself and not have the government be a crutch?
So question, how do you see Houston evolving in the future, and then how would District J play a role in that?
I think the city of Houston as an entity, as a government structure, the future is going to be through technology. And just like any other private sector business that has to lean on the innovation of technology and AI and cloud and big data to be able to thrive, the city of Houston is going to have to do the same. So I see the city of Houston as a services corporation. You all are shareholders as the taxpayers. You pay your taxes and you want return on your investment. And we as a body have to be able to provide that. And so as a services corporation, we need to look at it as a business. And for our business to be efficient, and fast and reliable, you're going to have systems in place through technology to make that happen.
So in that question, before you answer the J question, I hear a lot of talk about Houston is broke. Is that the case?
Yes, to a degree.
So how do we get out of that hole?
So
how did you get in the hole? It's better.
Yeah.
Better question. How did you get in the hole?
Billions of dollars.
Well, I know, but I'm saying the fact of it is.
So you got to look at it again like a business.
Plain broke.
Any business that spends more than it brings in is going to be in a deficit. All right. If in your own household, let's say you make $10,000 a month, but your expenses are $12,000 a month, you $2,000 in the hole.
Yeah.
So right now, when Sylvester Turner, the late mayor, passed away, he left the city of Houston in a good financial state. Okay. A lot of that was money from the federal government through COVID, but we had an abundance of it. All right. Since then, over the past couple of years under this new administration, we have been spending more than we're bringing in. Some really high raises to our first responders.
Oh, God, yes.
We've been spending a lot more money on just different services that we provide, and we have not had the same revenue to replace that. So whenever you are outspending your revenues, you're going to be in a hole. So how do you fix that? Well, there's only two ways to do it. You're either going to have to raise people's taxes to bring in more revenue, or you're going to have to cut your expenditures. Many times our expenditures are personnel. That's salary, right? So then you have to try to find ways to cut in these departments. When you cut in these departments, you cut in the people that do the work, that provide the services. And then is your trash going to be late, right? Are they not going to clean out the ditches, mow the esplanades? All these things you have to consider, right?
Wow.
For me, I think looking at it as a business, we have to be creative and finding ways to bring in more revenue without going to the taxpayer and raising taxes. And I think there's a lot of different public-private partnerships that can be explored to bring in more revenue. And then I think you can ask each department, which we have 23 city departments, are there ways within your department that you think you can bring in revenue? Can we have a menu of services? Can we have expedited processing that people will pay more for to bring in money? Because we're going to need more money to be able to provide the level of service that you all deserve for the taxes that you pay.
Can you name one? Can you give us one example how you would bring revenue?
Yeah. So when you go to these other cities, this is a small example, but it's a good example to kind of illustrate. When you go to other cities, you see electronic billboards. So we have static billboards that just have the canvas up there. I have a lot of different billboards around the city. But in other cities, whether you're going to Dallas, whether you're going to Phoenix, whether you're going to Atlanta, Chicago, they have electronic billboards that every 10 seconds a different image comes on there.
They started one in Missouri City.
They're in Missouri City, they're in Stafford, they're in Humble, but they're not in the city of Houston. Okay, because we have a strong lobby against it. But the billboard companies will do cost sharing with the city. They will pay the city to be able to put those billboards up and be able to bring in revenue off of the ad buys that are generated through their company.
That's gonna hurt jobs.
Huh?
It's gonna hurt jobs.
No, why?
Because the billboards are like the guys that have the trucks, and so they go up there and put the billboards up.
No, they'll just put they'll repurpose, because that's looking at it from a micro standpoint. I think that right now with these billboards, as just an example to give you something easy, we will get revenue sharing from the billboard companies. All right. Now, right now, we're already getting small revenue sharing of several $1 million a year off these little kiosks that you see downtown Medical Center Galleria. It's off the side of the road near the sidewalk. You'll see something that looks like a big iPhone. It's there, it has little ads playing.
Right.
Yeah. You see those?
Yeah.
So we're doing cost sharing with that company for them to be there and use our public right of way to advertise.
Yeah.
So those are small ways in which you can bring in money. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, but we have not done those things. A lot of it's political.
Yeah.
But there's ways in which you can bring in much more money. We put a lot of money into things that I think we can also shift to corporations in the corporate community that the city should not have to put forth dollars on.
I got a strong question.
Okay.
Because I'm going to forget it. So
all right, go ahead.
No. Yeah, I've been forgot the damn question. And then watch this here. And this is nothing against our police services and whatnot, right? But I know when I heard, and I could be wrong, so correct me. When I heard of the raise they were getting and the large amount, I can't think of I've ever heard of anyone who's ever gotten a raise like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like 2 or 3 times what they've been getting paid.
It's a lot of money.
No, I'm talking about. And once again, I don't want the cops to get upset with me or nothing like that. That was cool. Was it the Harris County? Then HPD started. The Harris County said they want their cut. But you go from $60,000 a year, $7,000 a year to $200,000.
It's a big raise.
That's beyond a big raise.
Just to beat your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty. Yeah. That was a controversial. That was a controversial decision. I voted against this mayor's budget each time. So he's put forth 2 budgets, and I voted against both of them. And I'm one of the only people who voted against his budget. But he does have, not only just with first responders, but across the board, he just spends more than he brings in. Whoa, and without a plan to replace, right?
Right.
I don't think you could put a price on the service that our police and firefighters do, and so I think they deserve every dollar that they get. But you also have to have a plan for how do we pay for it, right?
Mm-hmm. But you can say that about so many people.
You can.
Teachers. You can't put a price on what teachers do. You can. But apparently they have put a price on them, and I get it. I'm down with the police. I get all that, but you would think it would went up incrementally. You know what I'm saying? Okay, y'all getting a good raise, but you ain't finna get 3 times what you've been getting paid your whole life. That's crazy to me.
Right.
Yeah. The issue becomes like, okay, you pay the police officers or the firefighters all this money, and you have a limited pot. That means you have to take money away from somewhere
else. Yeah.
And you have to look at, there's 3 employee groups within the city. So you have police, they have their own union. Fire, they have their own union. And then you have the municipal employees, the people who are on the trash trucks, the people who are help fixing the streets, the people who are helping clean the water, whatever. They only got like a 2% raise, 3% raise, right? When our officers got like a 40% raise.
That's retarded, man.
And so there's also friction behind the scenes between the employee groups, right? And that's where politics comes in.
Yeah.
That's where unions come in. That's where different people of influence come in. And I tell people all the time, like, politics doesn't have to make a lot of sense to you. Most times it's not going to make sense to you because that politics is not practical. Many people ask, like, why are certain areas, getting certain attention and other areas aren't? Well, is that other area voting? Right? People know where the votes are. I know where the votes are in my district. Right. So if I had to fix one street, if I had enough money to fix one street.
Yeah. Fix Scott Street.
But it was 2 communities that needed a new street.
I know one right now.
And one community got a lot of voters, and another community don't have a lot of voters. Well, I'm gonna prioritize the folks that vote. Because
and that's just life.
That's just life.
That's life.
Yeah.
So
obviously you got to do that.
So why voting is important is you want to vote people in that have your interests.
Yeah.
Right now, the person who is the mayor of the city, he has a certain interest, and he's going to take care of the people whose interests he has.
Right.
If there was a different person in, they may have a different interest, and maybe different interests will be fulfilled. And so it comes down to leadership, but the leadership is determined by the votes. And that's why today is election day. If y'all haven't voted, I know they're going to see this maybe after the fact, but even after this, send out a text to folks and remind them to go and vote, because every vote really does matter, and where the votes come from matters.
Yeah, it does.
So
we had several politicians on the show. We had Amanda, Isaiah, Ron Reynolds. That's my boy.
Yeah.
So we had them on there. The next politician on there. What you going to say?
So watch this. You're a lawyer by trade, right?
Yes.
Because I've been to the function, I see you be clean and everything. But watch this. Watch this. If you was to say that you was run for mayor, right? How is the city going to trust you to say what you said that you're going to do for the city?
Well,
they know you now.
Yeah,
but just say
the only way they would know is by giving me a chance, right? I mean, they find out once they give me the opportunity to be in a position to make those changes and be able to work collectively with them to make improvements within their community. And what I would say is, you have someone in the office now, and you see the job he's doing. If you like the job that he's doing, by all means, vote for him.
No one does.
If you're open to someone else, then you should consider that. And these are the things that we would try to offer. The big thing for me is I'm very results driven. I represent, as I said, the most diverse area of the city. The interesting thing about my district is there are no predominantly black neighborhoods. So people from the outside never really gave me a shot to win that seat because they say, well, there's no black neighborhoods over there. How is he going to win? So when I ran, there was 8 people in the race. I was the youngest. I was the only black person in the race. But I really focused on quality of life issues. You pay your taxes. You're supposed to get certain services. You're not getting what you deserve. I'm not getting into the partisan fight of the left and the right. I'm just focused on making sure you get bang for your buck for the dollars that you pay. And that's really where my focus always is on bringing results.
Right.
So I would tell the public, are you getting the results that you want, right? If not, then consider someone who is focused solely on results. And that brings us back to J City. In J City, we have all these programs that we have created to supplement the work of the city. So we have a beautification team. They focus on illegal dumping, scattered debris, graffiti abatement, things like that. We have a supplemental maintenance team. They clean out the open ditches. They mow the esplanades. They attack vacant lots, right? We have a good neighbor program. Is a home repair program for seniors, disabled, and veterans. We have an animal welfare program that helps with sweeps in the neighborhood of strays, gets them vaccines, gives them microchipping. We have a private trash program that helps supplement the solid waste department with picking up heavy trash and tree waste. All the programs that we have and many others do the same work that the city departments do, but they do it much faster because we privately contract them out and they are directed by our office. So if a constituent calls in and says, hey, the ditches in front of our community look bad. They're overgrown. They have trash in them. We could call over to Public Works or Solid Waste and say, hey, can y'all service this street? They're doing so much around the city that they may not get to us for weeks.
Right.
Our crews are going to go the next day.
Oh, wow.
All right. And what we've done is we've created this model to where we show, okay, if we have all these supplemental crews all over the city in every district, the results you're going to get for the taxes you pay are going to be faster. And for me, everything is about speed. I want things to happen fast. I don't like people to wait around for things that they should already be receiving, right? The big thing that we did is called the District J Patrol. It's a community policing model where people can go on their phones or laptop, go to districtjpatrol.com, and they can put on their issue that is related to their neighborhood. It could be junk motor vehicles, it could be a nuisance violation, trespass, homeless encampment, whatever. Something that is criminal by nature, but it's affecting the neighborhood. We will have people go online to districtjpatrol.com, put in their submission, and a specialized HPD officer will come address that issue that we pay overtime to, right? And as a lawyer, I do personal injury. I only get paid if my client gets paid. We have that same model for the police officers that we pay overtime to. The more submissions you do, the more you get paid. So it's an incentive for them to go out and do as much as they can. And we came up with this model because...
Hold up, you mean they out there jacking people for money?
No, it's like ambulance
I thought you said the police, you paying them by how many people they jack?
No.
How many tickets they
lay
write
down?
out? How many tickets they give you?
It reminds me of ambulance chasing back in the day.
So look.
It reminds me of...
So look.
I got to hear this right.
Yeah, I kind of felt what you felt.
You paying them extra to...
No,
I'm going to be his ass.
They're only answering your submission. So let's say a person says, hey, there's there's some junk motor vehicles on my street.
Yeah.
Right? Just some broken down cars or cars that's been there parked for too long. They make the street look junky.
Right.
If you call 911 for that, ain't nobody coming.
Ain't nobody coming.
Yeah.
They're going to be focused on rapes, assaults, murders. They not worried about that car.
Yeah.
That's 311, right?
Yeah. Well, it would be technically 911 because the officer's going to have to come out there and check the tires and all of this, right?
They ain't coming.
Anyways,
That car be out there.
District J Patrol, our community police model, only focus on these lower level quality of life crimes and violations. So whatever you report, whether it's a nuisance, panhandling, junk motor vehicle, parking on the lawn, all these lower level things, people will submit them, and then an HPD officer will come address it. The way we make sure they go address it is we pay them per submission.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I thought somebody had somebody on the ground. Lay down, give me my shit.
No.
Give me my shit.
most
I made 3 today.
yeah, that's funny. Most of the issues that people are putting are non-arrestable offenses.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are citation type offenses.
Yeah.
But they're not getting addressed, right? And so we wanted things to happen much faster. So we came up with this model for the District J Patrol. And we think that can be something that's citywide. So everything that I'm doing within J City is a model for citywide. And so J City, we want it to be shown as its own little municipality.
I got you.
Right?
Now.
J City.
Got you.
Once you want your area
It's
to be
clean over there.
like J City.
Yeah, it's clean.
J City
it's clean.
done differently.
Yeah.
I would want this in my neighborhood. Well, if you want this for your neighborhood, maybe one day you'll be able to vote on something that's citywide.
There you go.
But Jay's clean. It's clean over there.
I see what he's saying.
But so you guys are also playing the role of homeowner association. Because my HOA, my neighborhood, you can't do nothing.
Well, you signed up for it.
Hey, man, but they go too far. It's the gift and the curse.
Yeah, they do.
You signed up for it. No, I moved to the neighborhood. I didn't know them fools. I didn't know they had Miss Atkins over.
You got to read the fine print.
Oh, man.
You're going to have to take this down.
Yeah.
Or you can serve on the HOA board yourself.
I ain't got time.
And change some policies.
I ain't got time.
There you go. Well, man, it was good having you on the show, Pollard. You got any last questions for Miss Pollard?
Man, I just want to say, I do.
No, he good. He good. I like everything.
What you got, man?
Hey,
Go
man,
ahead.
I do, man. No, real talk. I mean, I think you should run. I don't know if you
we can't talk about that. Can't talk about that.
I'm saying it because I want to say it.
Well, say it off air.
Say what?
Say it off air.
Man, run for mayor.
Whatever, man.
Because he have a good track record.
No, he does, man. He does.
And everybody knows it. So
man, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, I think I appreciate you all for having me.
Yeah.
Invite me back anytime.
Yeah.
For sure.
I got 4 of them.
Right there. All right, man. There you go, man. There you go.
He got over 1 million votes to get in. Give him another 1 million.
There you go.
Crazy.
Come on, man. We appreciate it again.
DEEZNUTZ.